so we gala cricket they fell.
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning here from Supersport Park. Unfortunately, a bit of delay in this game here. The game being played by Eastern Cape Iinyathi and the Multiply Titans. Unfortunately, a delay in the signal here, but we're back on air. And the Titans been batting first, and they've been doing quite well so far. Subinelo Makanya just made his way out to the crease here for the Multiply Titans, and they find themselves at 78 for free after 6.4 overs. Petlukwai and Stork started nicely. Stork was in a hurry with his 36, very well played 36. And at this point in time, Brandon Makanya will be in the wickets, and Tandon and Tini just got the wicket of Keegan Peterson. With me here this morning, Johan van der Walt. Good to have you with us, and enjoy the day here with the Multiply Titans.
Oh, thanks, Kobus. Yeah, for you that doesn't know, Tandon Tini, the son of the well-known Makai and Tini, running in to the new batter, straight off the mark. But yeah, home for you. Played a lot of cricket here. Titans winning the toss, electing to bat. As Scuba said, yeah, a bright and brisky start, but they've lost 3 wickets in the process, so there's a chance for Eastern Cape Iinyathi to just pull it back, the run rate, and get themselves back into the game.
Yeah, a lovely way to get the season up and running. We know the Momentum Health Challenge was played, and Eastern Cape Iinyathi won the final yesterday against the Mpumalanga Rhinos, which allowed them to play against the Titans today. Lovely shot by Neil Brandt out for a single. And a very good initiative to see the 4 sides of the B Division, Division 2, playing against each other here at Supersport Park. And this Friday match here against the Titans, being part of the Titans pre-season fixtures, had a great opportunity for these youngsters to play against the A Division side and against the Titans at Supersport Park.
I think it's exactly what it is. The final has been played yesterday, so this is not part of the little tournament they had. It just grants you opportunity to play against a pretty strong Titans side. A lot of internationals, and Petlukwai, Brandt, he's played for South Africa, Rudolf van der Merwe. So there's a few guys, so it gives them an opportunity to see what level and where they should be for pre-season. So they can bump shoulders with a strong side like Titans, also A Division teams.
What's also quite interesting to look at the stats over the previous 4 days, to look at the top of the pile of the run scoring. Jason Niemand from the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, he was the leading run scorer of 206 runs. And not surprising, the leading wicket taker also Nico van Zyl. So both guys who played in the final got rewarded with good performances throughout the 4 days, and it just shows you how important it is for individual performances to get your team over the line. So Zane busy with his second over, tidy right arm off spinner, top order batter as well. So a good young cricketer here on display for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi.
Yeah, with the initiative and streaming the game live, and it also gives these young players opportunity to get exposure. You have maybe a good week or so, and then a good season. You might be wrapped up with one of the bigger franchises, if you want to call it that.
A very good line here by Cezani, difficult to get away. We know we've got a new batter who just joined Neil Brandt at the crease. Subinelo Makanya, a lot of experience on his head. And here you can feel the pressure. You already wonder over a field change, taking the mid-wicket out, sending him over to the offside, to the point region. So he opens up that vacant mid-wicket area. It's important for the boundary liners to work hard. There we can see Makanya works in the crease, pushes it out. But great fielding from the mid-wicket boundary to stop the second run.
It's outside edge, well played by Brunt. I think he opened the face a little bit. That's going to run away to the boundary as it normally does at Supersport Park. That's also the end of the over. 8 overs is gone. The score is 86 for 3. So they progressing nicely, just under 11 runs and over.
Yeah, bowling change here for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi from the West Lane in. Hardus Kutser. He also experienced a good tournament thus far. Very good all-rounder. Right arm seamer who looks to sing the ball away. And a nice period in the game for him to come in to make an impact in the game straight away. I must say what impressed me about the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side is their seam attack. If you look at this team today with Van Zyl, Klaasen, Nyati and Kutser, the 4 seamers they picked to play in this game. Then they got Fourie also, who bowled nicely throughout the tournament. So it's good to have squad depth. If you look at the Division 2 players, that's always a challenge because of the amount of CSA contracts that they have available. But you need 15, 16 players throughout a season to rotate that squad.
Yeah, and you strive for 15, 16 for quality, and the bigger franchises, A division sides, they sort of wrap up all the quality, especially in fast bowling, because there's not 100 going around in the country. So if you can get your hold on a few youngsters that's up and coming, shows a lot of promise, which Eastern Cape Iinyathi has done, and they've got a little bit of depth. That bows well for maybe a good season to come.
Very well played by Brunt. Wrong line from Kutser at this occasion. He uses the depth of the crease and he just helped it behind square leg. The boundary field about 10 meters off the fence. The long boundary to the leg side of Brunt. But still the timing good enough to get a boundary. I must say this Nyati side, I think we have to keep an eye on them in Division 2 this year. They made a few good signings. They signed the batter from Tuks, Christian de Toy. Hardus Kutser joined them. He was at Northwest and played for Limpopo last year in the B Division. So he moved across to Eastern Cape Iinyathi. And the young top order batsman Vian Rutwan also made his way across. So a couple of good signings. And Niemand also at the top of the order for them, stalwarts of the Eastern Cape. So a well-balanced side, I must say. Now you always know these pre-season games. One boundary will also always be bigger than the other, and sometimes it can get into your head. If you look at this plan of the field placing, how they protect the short boundary, and as a bowler in your subconscious mind, you can easily err. On this occasion to Brunt, it just looked like Kutser's natural line was a bit too straight, which made it easy pickings for Neil Brunt.
Yeah, teams will tend to target small boundaries, but I agree with you. Sometimes as a batter, you can sort of get stuck in your ways and thinking, I'm only going to try and score on the short boundary. Very good running, pull shot that wasn't out of the middle, so it took a bit of time to get to the guy on the fence, and good calling from Brunt and Makanya. They threw for 2.
Yeah, bowling chase From the Enops River end, Nyati Molefe, the left-arm spinner. He also joined the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. He did play for Limpopo last year, Limpopo Impalas in Petersburg. Did very well. Previously played for the South Africa under 19 side also. So good to see him in action in a good side. Good control over the previous 3 days. You know, it's the end of this week. A lot of cricket being played. So we expect that the wicket might take some turn. So Nyati Molefe is the guy who will expose that.
Exactly what it was going through my thought process now. I think especially in the second, have a look at Roel van der Merwe later on. He'll be a big factor on a wearing pitch. This one is picked up. I was just about to say there's a left-hand, right-hand combination, which means there's always going to be a short boundary for one of the batters. Not that he needed it. That one fell onto the roofs of those chalets on the side of the embankment. So a pretty nice welcome to the crease for the bowler. It also brings up the 100. The 100 comes up in the 10th over, first ball of the 10th over. So they're cruising along over 10. So projected way over the 200 mark.
Yeah, not the way you want to start your spell. Nonetheless, Neil Brunt didn't give any time to settle. He picked up length very early and a lovely slog sweep over the boundary for a maximum.
Neil Brunt is a player that was well known for red ball cricket, 4-day cricket. He famously captained the national side for a couple of test matches, but he's rebuilt his own game to adapt in this format, and classy batter in the 50 over format. Again, swept. This one is going to go to the brownie, again targeting the small boundary, and the umpire signals that one has crossed the rope. So Brunt is getting on with it.
Yeah, it's definitely been a change in his game. If you look at how the way the Titans have used him in white ball cricket, not at the top of the order, he bats at 4 and 5. So a good way for him. Always been talented and always been highly spoke of as a top order batter. But the way that he sort of changed his game and remodeled his game to be able to bat in the middle order and the middle periods of the game against spin and against the slower bowlers of a spread field is quite remarkable to see, and it just shows what talent he possesses.
Yeah, he was always seen as just a classical cricket batsman, but such as the talent and the ways of these days, you've got to adapt, which he's done to his credit, I think. So he's a big value for the multiplied Titans in these days on all formats.
Lovely shot of Makanya. Uses the width of the crease. Get nice and deep into it. Good fielding by Tandon Ntini to save the boundary. But Makanya, short right-handed batter, short in stature. He picked up the length from Molefe early. And a very good cut shot just behind square.
This time he goes over extra cover, one bounce, fantastic effort from Ntini, but is an expensive over, which we haven't really expected. We thought the spinners will play a much bigger role. We can see a replay of that. Give himself a little bit of room, punches it to a big open spaces. There's the effort from Ntini, but all in vain.
Yeah, typical Supersport Park wicket here today. A lot of value for runs. The outfield very quick, and you can just see how these 4 days, 5 days progressed. the wicket just got a bit quicker, and I must say it's a great wicket for batting at this point in time.
Yeah, you'll see the outfield, and we're coming out of winter, so, and it's been top dressed. You won't recognize this outfield in a couple of, maybe in a month's time after some rains, and it'll all be covered up and be like a billiard table, like we know Supersport Park is. This is just coming straight out of winter. There's a bit of sand for top dressing, so. Not long from now, we'll have Supersport Park back as we know it, but it's still it's pretty quick, and on the high veld you get value for your shots, like Cobus said. So not always nice to be a bowler, especially in this format.
We're just here past the halfway mark, and the Titans find themselves on 111 for 3 after 10 overs. Tandon Ntini back into the attack. He started his third over here from the West Lane end. It's important for these Nyati players to keep fighting, stay in the fight as long as possible. We know a couple of good overs here in the middle periods of a T20 game can stop the flow of runs quickly. Some tired bodies here, 4 days of cricket they've played already. Titans just came back from a lovely pre-season camp at St Helena Bay. Looked lovely to see how they were catching all sorts of fish and things. So a lovely trip day experience with Airlink. And now back to business, back in the nets the last couple of days. A good way for them to start. They play this today here against the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, and then tomorrow they play against the Young Guns program that the Titans are running here. So a lot of pre-season activities here at Supersport Park.
Ntini's been doing well. Maybe it shows a little bit of experience. He's played almost all over South Africa. He's played for A-division teams quite a lot. And he's got 2 wickets, but he's also been miserly in the runs that he's conceded. So it just shows a little bit of experience that he's got. Still a young guy himself, youngish.
Yeah, a lot of changes and a lot of movements early in his career. And we chatted about it the other day, myself and Ken Borland, and exactly the same. He just needs a bit of stability. He's back home now, where he's grown up. From school he moved. He didn't finish school in the Eastern Cape. He went to Wynberg and Cape Town. And highly talented, got all the right attributes. Tall, gets nicely over the top, moves the ball in and out, predominantly into the right-handers. So all he needs is a bit of stability and 2-3 seasons at the same union with a lot of game time. And I'm sure with the right genes from his father, there's definitely a big career still ahead of him. You can see it's early season. Tandon Ntini bowling with a Bodibe shirt. Bodibe is the head coach of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. So you can see everything is not up and running as it should be at this point in time, but a nice way to get themselves going. I must say, I felt Supersport Park, not a cloud in the sky, beautiful day for cricket. It's going up to 31 degrees today again. I must say we missed spring this year. We went straight from winter right into summer.
It has been warm lately. All that now that we're looking for is some rains. Full red dot ball, pretty well bowled. He's trying to get it right up in there into the block hole. Titans, as Cobus just said, just past halfway. This is the last ball of their 11th over. Although they've lost 3 wickets, they bat pretty deep, so they've sort of built a good platform from where they can launch maybe in the last 6 or 5, depends on when they decide to go.
High up in the air, leading edge from Brunt. Fielder come into it. Looks like Jason Niemand, and a lovely catch on the 30-yard circle. Beautiful catch, and it's such an important wicket to stop the flow of runs. Well deserved and well bowled. Tandon Ntini's 3rd wicket, and the big wicket of Neil Brunt. He needs to make his way back to the pavilion.
Yeah, it's fantastic catch. Probably, if I had to judge, to run a good 25, 30 yards to get to the inner ring, and then that was very high. And then at the end to stabilize himself and take a very good catch. That's the end of Brunt. He played pretty well for his 42, but that's one way for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi to stop the flow of runs. Couldn't have asked for a better time to get a wicket.
Yeah, you can see how he settled himself. Very good catch running in. Not easy. The new batter at the crease now. Keegan Leon Cachet making his way. Played a couple of games for Pretoria Capitals and largest SA20. A young player went to St. John's College in Johannesburg and studied teaching at the University of the Order. But that's what they got available in terms of their squad and the guys who's around. Bowling change here from the West Lane end. Hardest Kutser back into the attack for his second over.
Starts off with the slow ball. It's also an option and that we'll probably see quite a lot of from here on in. 8 overs to go, and also later in the second innings, as this wicket bakes, a used wicket, as Cobus has alluded to, you have to have your options open. A lot of cutters, a lot of slow balls.
Yeah, nice to see Kutser back in action, I must say. He one of the boys who came through the ranks where I coached at Hoërskool Waterkloof, and personally I felt he's one of the best schoolboy cricketers that I've ever had in terms of our system as a batter and as a bowler with good control. He went to the Northwest University, played a bit of first-class cricket for Northwest, but had a bad back injury which put him back for 2 years, and then last season he started back at Limpopo, did quite well, and I hope this move for him to Eastern Cape Iinyathi will be good for his career going forward.
I feel it's all opportunity for exposure, opportunity to play, get your name out there, make sure you fit through the season, where you can show off your skills.
Oh, that's a pity. Unfortunately, Nico van Zyl, he prided himself in his fielding, and he just overrun that ball right through his leg for 4. And not a nice bowlerable experience. Good ball, nice and full by Kutser. And look at his fielding. All the work to get to the ball, and unfortunately right through. You won't like to see that back again on the replay.
Yeah, that's straight from pressure that the batsman put him under, and that's why we always speak to youngsters. When you hit it to a sweeper, run as hard as you can, because it does put a little bit of pressure on the fielder. Just at the last minute, he might lift his head wide. It's only going to be 1 this time, but you might just try and keep an eye on the batsman on the last split second. You lift your head up, and that's what could happen.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit of fumble, then you are ready to turn for your second run.
Yeah, no, Nico van Zyl quite well. He prides himself in his fielding, so that will sit with him for a while. But that's cricket. He just needs to bounce back as soon as he can from there. Out to the mid-wicket boundary. Good fielding by Tandon Ntini. Just a single. And an end of a very good over from Hardest Kutser. Unfortunately, the boundary that he conceded, but these 2 overs cost him 15 so far. There's the scorecard on display. some big names in the Titans squad, a couple of international players. And what experience for these Eastern Cape Iinyathi guys to rub shoulders with them.
Gives you opportunity to see where the A division standards are. Yeah, you're playing against a strong Titans side, but they're normally a strong outfit and unit. That's what you want to compare yourself to the strongest sides in the country, so you can see where you are and what you got to work on, and what your skills lack maybe sometimes, or maybe you realize we're not that far behind.
Very well played again. Leon Kashay gets in the channel of the ball and just helps it delicately past the 45, the short fine leg fielder, and very good placement for 2 runs. A typical wicket-keeper batter. Good with the sweep and reverse sweeps. Hockey shots, hockey player. Nice and busy at the crease, and he just picks up the length and he punches it out to the cover sweeper for a single.
It's also a good comeback from Eastern Cape Iinyathi, except for this misfield that's gone for the boundary. They've sort of cut down on the boundaries overall. That run rate now dips under 10. Not long ago it was close to 11, so it's sort of a good fight back. That's with the wicket of Brandt. Leon Kashay has not yet managed to get one through to the boundary.
Up in the air, safe hands again, a very good catch. And the end of Makanya, a big wicket in the context of the game. The last bat of the top 5 needs to make his way back. And Molefe kept his nerve. He went through for a couple in his first over, but a well-deserved wicket and a very good catch on the fence.
Yeah, it's a straight result of what I've spoken about earlier, and that's cutting down boundaries, getting that run rate down as much as you can. And looking at the scorecard, a lot of the players from the Titans has got starts, but not gone on. No 50 yet, as of yet. Another international player, Khalim, walking to the crease, all-rounder. We spoke about the all-rounders earlier, so there's a lot of options. But again, fantastic fight back from the Eastern Cape side.
Yeah, off the frame here, 2 very good catches in today's contest by Mikey Copeland. He had to run in again to get that ball under his eyes and catch it. So very good fielding from him in the deep. It's a very long boundary there, so it's always uncertain where you stand, how far you come in from the fence. But nonetheless, a great catch to see the end of Makanya. Yeah, if you look at the position, they find themselves in, the run rate is very good. It still goes at 9.7 to the over, but 6.3 overs left. It's not a dangerous period that the Titans can find themselves in. 180 has been par in previous days here. They haven't seen a 200 score yet, so 180 should be a realistic aim. But at the halfway stage, it looked like they were going to get a lot more. They were 111 for 3 after 10 overs. So, as you rightly mentioned, a very good period here by the Eastern Cape Iinyathi bowlers.
Now, you were here for the week to some of the games. Batting first, mostly teams have been winning, or was there a bit of a mix? Is the wicket slow up later on, or has it been a mix in the results?
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag. The general rule of thought was the teams in the morning game looked to bowl first and then chase, and then the games after lunch and afternoon games, the teams were more likely looking to bat first when they won the toss. But the results has gone both ways. Yeah, we would have thought the wicket was going to turn a lot more, being in 5 days on the same wicket. But I must say, it's not too much turn. It's still a very good service for the batters to hit through the line, and the outfield, as we mentioned earlier, is rapid. Although it doesn't look great, it's still very, very quick.
It's always been a speaking from a bowler's point of view, it's always been for me looking at the ground. I have felt been a bowler's nightmare, especially in this format. Sometimes in the red ball cricket, it can get a bit spicy, the wicket, but Supersport's been known for always batting paradise. When you get to white ball cricket,
a bowling change here from the West Lane edge. Chad Larson comes back into the attack. His first 2 overs quite expensive. He went for 32 runs in his first 2 overs. He picked up the 1 wicket, and unfortunately in that power play, the young Steve Stall got the better of him. But let's see how he bounced back in the second attempt. Straight away, you can see they're protecting the short boundary. The long on with wicket fielder and the deep square on the fence. And then the 4 guys in the circle, 45, short fine leg on the leg side, third man in the circle, backward point and extra cover with long off and cover sweeper on the fence. So 4 guys in the circle and the 5 guys on the fence.
Now, they'll be happy with singles, and I think it's a result of the field position as well. They're trying to protect the boundaries, especially the leg side, try and keep those, like the previous ball, keep it outside the off stump. Singles won't hurt them, but it's the boundary at this stage. We're in the 15th over, so after this there's 5 to go. It's almost try and limit the damage from here on in. That run rate, achieved run rate, keeps creeping down close to 9 now. So it's almost come down a whole run and a half in the last, let's say, half an hour. Still, if they keep going at 9s, that gives you 180, which we feel with the Titans bowling lineup should be a pretty big challenge. Batting second here on a wicket. He's wearing a little bit. It has been playing pretty well so far, as it is a morning game.
Great fielding again. Very well moved. Looks like Jason Niemande done the work. Brilliant fielding. A valuable cricketer for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. We said earlier the leading run scorer in this tournament thus far, and look at him move in the field. And I must say, a very good comeback here. 4 great balls. They only go for 3 runs so far, and Claessen's come back over, and that shows a lot of character. Tandon and Tini tidy up at the mid-wicket fence. Only a single. Important ball here for Claessen. The last ball of his 3rd over. Titans are just slowly starting to fall away. Important for one of these 2 batters to look for a couple of boundaries. We've seen it so often. Momentum is so important in T20 cricket. It changes so quickly.
That's well bowled. Is there outside edge? Was it a bump ball? Fielders are pretty convinced, and the keeper, umpire doesn't, he makes the decisions obviously, and he says no.
Yeah, funny bounce. It went slower back through to the keeper. So let's have a look here at the replay. Definitely the ball into the ground. The right decision by the umpire. Easy decision in the end. You could straight away see how the pace takes off back to the keeper when he goes into the ground. Discussion there by wicket keeper and umpire. Always cheeky, these wicket keepers. Some things never change in cricket.
Claessen. No, it's not Claessen. Excuse me. Molefe with his last over. Actually a very good comeback. He went for 17 in his first over, and he's gone for just 10 more runs and picked up a wicket in 2 more overs after that. So this is his last.
Khalim down the ground. Not enough. And a very well deserved wicket by Molefe. Christian de Tooy on the fence taking the catch. And we just felt the previous over, we said one of these 2 batters will need to look for a couple of boundaries. And something had to give. And unfortunately, Outside half of the bats from Khalim. Not enough timing. And a well-judged catch by Christian du Toit. You can see here, he looked for that long off boundary. Used his feet, sliced it from the outside half. And look at the positioning there. A very good catch by Christian du Toit.
Yeah, you speak about momentum. And sometimes as a bowling side, the only way you can hold momentum for a batting side is taking wickets. And that's exactly what Eastern Cape Iinyathi has done. This is 6 down now, and every time a wicket falls, a new batter has to come in, get used to the pace. Doesn't matter how deep you bat, you've got to take a ball or a couple of, maybe an over to get used to it. So the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, they'll be happy with their progress. Yeah, it's going to be a stiff task. At the end of the day, they're already on 137, but that run rate is now dropped under 9. As I said earlier, it's a little bit of damage control, but they're doing it pretty well. The brother of Marco Jansen.
Yeah, it will take getting used to see him in the Titans light blue colours. He played all his cricket at Northwest Potchefstroom Gymnasium, where they finished school, the two brothers. Did wonderful things throughout their career, and he made the move here to the IFL, to Supersport Park. Honestly believe the wicket will do his bowling a lot of justice. Tall, lanky bowler and a hard-hitting right-handed batter. He sort of, the last 2 seasons we didn't see much of him. I know it was difficult with that makeup of the side at Northwest to get in the first 11. But a move across to Supersport Park, hopefully it can be a good one for him. Both the brothers, they make it look so easy. Look at that first ball, they just get into position. The timing is there. Such natural talent, the two of them. And from my personal point of view, I hope he can get his career back on track. They were very similar at the young age, and Marcus sort of gone away a little bit over the last few years from Duan. But the talent is still around, so let's see how he can rectify his career at Supersport Park.
You almost get the feeling that he's with some injuries and some struggles with the bowling. He's sort of concentrating on his batting quite a lot. He's got the long levers, he's got the ability to hit, like his brother, to hit a long ball. You don't want to compare the two, but they're very similar. But their careers hasn't worked out similar. So, but he's still got time. They're still pretty young. But I agree with you. I think the move up to Pretoria, and I felt with the multiplied Titans, may just elevate his career to what most expected of it.
Very well bowled by Molefe. It finishes his 4 overs, 2 for 50 in 4 overs. He only goes at 7.5 per over in his 4 overs. After went for 17 in his 3rd over. So I must say, a lot of character shown by the young left-arm spinner to pull this back. And look there, 4 overs, only 3 boundaries and a 6, 2 for 30. Lovely returns for his captain and for his team.
It's also been a while for the Titans to get hold of the boundary. There's 4 overs left now. So you get to a stage that they sort of going to decide it's now time to get the foot down, but that obviously creates opportunity for Eastern Cape side Nyati, maybe to pick up another couple of wickets. They will know these two batsmen at the crease are pretty dangerous. Ntini, it doesn't say Ntini in the back of his shirts, but I can assure you it is. He's back into the attack. He's been good today. He's 3 overs cost him 19 so far, but 3 wickets behind his name.
Oh, that one stayed low a bit. Leon Cachet went onto the back foot to play the pull shot, and you could see how he had to squat to make contact with the ball. Definitely stayed a bit low, but nonetheless still a very good delivery by Tandon Ntini. 5 big balls for him, and if they can get another breakthrough here, the Titans will start to feel under pressure. Heave out to the deep. Very good fielding on the fence. Saved a certain boundary, and they only managed to go through for a single. That short boundary, but very well done by Chad Clausen. Had to make quite a few yards. Not the timing Duan Jansen wanted in this occasion to that short boundary, but look at the fielding. Had to move with the ball. Lovely hand to keep it in field, and I must say by the substitute fielder Ridvan to come and pick it up to save the second run. Good cricket.
Again, one staying down a little bit. Does that mean that it's only going to get more difficult? And we've said it a couple of times that it's a well-used wicket through this whole week. There's been a couple of games each day. Just have a look at the length. Yeah, and it goes to the keeper on the second bounce. That's not what Supersport Park's known for.
Ball bowled again by Tanden and Tini in the block hole. Leon Cushay just managed to hit it down the ground for one to long on. Now Tanden and Tini's last over, the 17th over. If I look at that scorecard, Klaasen got one left and Van Zyl got two left. We know Van Zyl is very good at the back end. Good skill to bowl Yorkers. So he'll definitely do the business from the one side. Over 18 and 20 will most likely be Van Zyl, and over 19 Klaasen. They've still got the option of Kutzer. I'm not sure if they'll use free bowlers at the back end here. All down to Nathan Rue and his decision making. Good area by Duan Jansen. A long boundary into that vacant area over cover, and the cover sweeper on the fence need to run round and comfortably back for 2 runs. Oh, there's a scorecard as it is, 143 for 6 after 16.5. Titans will feel like they fell away in the last 5 or 6 overs. And the constant break of partnerships and the constant wicket-taking ability by Nyati was the main cause. Lovely shot out into the deep by Duan Jansen. Good fielding by Nico van Zyl. Only 2 runs. But once again well bowled. And a very good spell by Tanden and Tini comes to an end. He's 4 overs, 3 wickets, and he only concedes 26 runs. Very well bowled by the young, exciting Tanden and Tini. Van Zyl is going to change sides. He's going to come in his second spell from the Enops River end. He will bowl over 18 and 20 as discussed. Be interesting to see his plan now of the short boundary on the offside here. What will he do? Will he come around the wicket? Will he come over the wicket? You can straight away see the 3 big boundary riders on the big boundary on the leg side, deep square, with wicket boundary and long on is doing duty, and then they got the cover sweeper out and long off. So nothing behind square. Both the fielders, third man and fine leg is in the circle.
Yeah, pretty good start. I think the natural thing would be try and get it into the block hole line wise, try and follow his feet, leg stump. Keep watching the batsman, try and get it into maybe into his heels. Might a little bit of risk with no fine leg. If I used to with this field to have my long off come up to mid off and send your fine leg back as well if you want to bowl that line, because that is an option. these days, in today's time. And the ramp-us and sweep-us that much back in the day, but that is an option, which means your fine leg that's up can easily yield the boundary.
Yeah, good decision by standing umpire Mr. Yuri Sadler not to call the wide. You could see Leon Cachet walked right across, so he feel like if he stood still where he took guard, it would most likely have hit his pads. Great effort in the deep. Unfortunately, couldn't hold on to it. Made the ground. You can see the disappointment, but a very difficult chance. And Leon Cachet gets back for 2. Jason Niemand out in the deep, a very good fielder. And that missed chance also brings up the 150 for the Multiply Titans. 17.3 over, 6 down as they move to 150.
This time it's going to be a wide. It looked like the slower ball option. Also trying to keep that line. He's been bowling the Yorker so good. Maybe that's should be your main option. Batsman just having a chat, maybe just discussing the change up from the bowler. Van Zyl.
Very good catch by the substitute fielder Jan Rutvan. You could see the pace off again from Nico van Zyl, well bowled, and Leon Cachet gets on the knee. As you said, the scoop is part of T20 cricket. We see it so often, and this time around, no pace to work with, and a very good catch at short fine leg by the young Jan Rutvan to see the end of Leon Cachet. And the Titans are slowly finding themselves in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, you have to say Eastern Cape Iinyathi's fielding has been very, very good. Ground fielding, sometimes that's how you judge teams. Yeah, they dropped one earlier, but that was very, very difficult. They've held on to a lot of good catches, and it shows with their fight back. The run rate has gone down. There's 7 wickets already down. Clever bowling, taking pace off again. Maybe he had a feeling that he's going to try and scoop him, so he didn't give him any chance. Maybe a bit of a struggle from Leon Cachet. He's scored 16, couldn't really get going. Now, the old bulldog, the wily van der Merwe. Rudolf van der Merwe strides to the crease. Such a quality cricketer, such a experienced head, always 100%er. I think he's such a great guy to have in your squad.
Yeah, super talented and super fit and a good guy to have around, as you rightly mentioned. I know they used him and involved him a bit with this speaker, the Supersport Park International Cricket Academy. He's done some work on the coaching front also of the youngsters with Richard Nevs, who looks over that program here. So a real servant of the game over years, and all credit to him for the incredible international career he had, and to finish back where it all started for him back in Pretoria at the Titans. Lock, stock and battle back with his family back in Midstream and back in Pretoria. So good to have him back, and you can see still very fit and more than capable to run the second run there.
Yeah, the thing about Van der Merwe is he'll play this game as hard as he would play a World Cup final. Yeah. That's the way he's been every time he steps out into the middle. It's 100%. It doesn't care if it's a club game or it's a pre-season game or he plays for the Proteas in a World Cup final, and that brings a lot to learn. For those of you that remember, you can go Google him, Frick de Pre, the old Springbok captain. He used to have this saying, you play the way you practice, and this is a practice game for them, but the way you practice is the way you're going to take that skills into match situations.
Now 2 overs left here. Chad Larson will bowl the penultimate over here from the West Lane end. He came back nicely after he was quite expensive in his first 2 overs. And with the field placing here, it looks like he will bowl the wide Yorkers outside the off stump. Follows the plan. Chance for a run out. If he hits, direct it. Oh, very good fielding. And Mr. Yuri Sadler under pressure there. And a decision not to give him out. Duan Jansen safely home for a single, but very well executed by Chad Larson.
You have to say, I think that was pretty close. Pretty athletic fielding. Normally, your direct hits are closer than you expect. Umpires doesn't have that luxury, so they have to make the decision straight on field. Feels a bit old school television, where umpires has to make decisions. Yeah, that line, he sits with that line outside off. This was a slow delivery. We have seen a couple stay down towards the North River end. This one just the bottom edge from Jansen. No run scored.
Yeah, just too wide on this occasion. You can see that Charleston disappointed with the umpire's decision. Duan Jansen did move across, but still that white line is just too close. So I think it's a right judgment call by the umpire. The white line moves with the batter if he moves across, but also just to a certain extent. You can't go too wide. But I'm quite impressed with the way the Eastern Cape Iinyathi has been in the field. As you mentioned earlier, their bowling plans has been quite solid and sound. And we'll definitely have to keep a close eye on them and how they will do in Division 2 in this coming season. Lovely strike by Duan Jansen down the ground. Nathan Rue will have to make. Very well fielded. Saves a certain boundary again. And only back for 2.
Only 4 extras. That normally tells you how well a bowling team as a unit has been training, how they've been drilled. Only 4 extras in a pressure match for them. You know, they're playing against a good Titan side. So kudos for them. They've been hitting their lines. They've been hitting their lengths after they came under a lot of pressure early on from the opening pair, Stoke and Petluquayo. It's been really professional from this side, Eastern Cape Iinyathi.
Two big balls here for Chad Larson to finish his spell. Very well bowled again. Fairman in the circle. Hustles through for a single. But a great plan and very good execution here at the back end of the innings by Chad Larson, openings bowler of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. You could see the intensity of that walking back. He got a clear plan. And that's the most important thing, the back end of the innings for a bowler. Not to have too many things going in his mind. Set your goal, have a clear plan, and then execute as well as you can. Down the ground, Duan Jansen. And unfortunately this time Nathan Rook can make his way around to save the boundary. 1 bounce 4. And exactly what Duan Jansen and the Titans needed. Last over bowled here by Nico van Zyl. Rudolf van der Merwe on strike. Very well bowled. The reverse sweep from Rudolf van der Merwe, high risk shot, and Nico van Zyl nailed the Yorker again. I must say, it's highly impressive the way he nails his Yorkers here, Johan.
Yeah, they've been really good as a unit. Rudolf van der Merwe has to walk back. That's wicket number 8. That run rate has gone down to 8.5. So they've given themselves a chance, but he's been good in the previous over. Again now, he's a tall, lanky bowler. Hits it straight on the line, right in the block hole. Obviously a high risk shot, but he gets rewarded for good discipline and good bowling.
Yeah, I must say it's no surprise why Nico van Zyl is at the top of the pile when it comes to wickets throughout the last 4 days. You could see clear plans. Had a very good summer over in the UK also. Rate him highly. He's going back to the same club next year, so a nice career he put himself together. He had a big shoulder operation about 2-3 years ago. He played for Easterns, and then the opportunity came 2 years ago for him to go down to the Eastern Cape, and I must say his cricket has gone north with rapid speed the last 2-3 seasons. Great skill again, back of the hand slow ball, a very difficult delivery to bowl. He makes it look easy, and Junior Dala off the mark with a single. Nicely done by Duan Jansen, come back for 2. Nothing wrong with the delivery. Very good Yorker once again by Nico van Zyl. And I must say, that 2 for 32 after 3.3, he definitely bowled better than that. Slow ball up in there, Nathan Roux underneath it, and a well-deserved third wicket for Nico van Zyl. The end of Duan Jansen. The Titans losing their 9th wicket, 2 balls to come, and they're falling away here, 167 for 9, with 2 balls left.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit naughty if they get bowled out 9 wickets down. Earlier in the piece, we said that they're looking at well above 200. Let's concentrate on the bowling again. That slow ball, it gets the length right. Jansen only manages to slice across it. So unbelievable bowling. Very impressed with the skill of the young man. Zard Williams, he didn't think he's going to strap them on at the beginning of the day or at the beginning of this innings. They were going all guns blazing. Against all due respect, maybe a weaker side, but they've showed a lot of promise and a lot of fight and a lot of guts to fight back into this game. And at this stage, they're looking to bowl the Titans out. 2 balls to go.
Yeah, good to have Lazard Williams back playing again. So hopefully his injury woes are something of the past. Sure, he trained hard over the winter to get him back to full fitness, and the fact that they use him in this pre-season game shows that he's back to full fitness, and like to see how he goes. Had a couple of good goes for the Proteas before he got injured.
Yeah, he was just building momentum. He's just finding his feet in the Proteas squad. In the side, as you said, he's had a few good showings, and then the injury. Sometimes in sport that happens, and it can set you back a couple of years. He's a well-experienced player, so hopefully he'll get back to form pretty quickly.
Very well bowled again by Nico van Zyl, the last delivery. And Lazard Williams comes back for the second run. Good running, and that That ends the first innings here for the Titans on 170 for 9 after they allotted 20 overs. 200 was on the card at the halfway stage. They were 111 for 3 after 10 overs. So very well bowled by the Eastern Cape Iinyathi in the second half of this first innings of the Titans to restrict them to 170. A pass score here. Definitely didn't run away with this first innings. And we'd like to see in what mindset the Eastern Cape Iinyathi will start their run chase. Yeah, pick of the bowlers for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. Tandon and Tini with 3 for 26 after 4 overs. And Molefe with 2 for 30 in his 4 overs. The left-arm spinner came back nicely. And there you can see the troublesome scorecard of the Titans. The big challenge there was none of the batters were able to move on and get a big score. 42 of Brand, the highest score, and a very well played 36 of Stokes in the power play were the two standouts in the scorecard. But very well bowled by Molefe, Van Sail and Ntini. Okay, we're going to take a break here from Supersport Park. We'll see you back in 20 minutes for the second innings. Yeah, welcome back here by Supersport Park for the second innings of this encounter between the Multiply Titans and the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. 171 runs to win in 20 overs. Required rate 8.6, so that will be a good run chase here for yesterday's champions. Eastern Cape Iinyathi won the Momentum Health Challenge in the final yesterday against the Mpumalanga Rhinos. They managed to get over the line, so a very good challenge for them here today against the Titans.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to players that myself and maybe you, the viewer, haven't seen a lot. They've been pretty impressive, mostly in the field and with the ball. Now we get an opportunity to see what they can do with the bat. Ru will take first strike. And Khalim with the new ball for the Titans, like he often does. He's got the ability to swing the ball, move the ball away from the right-hander. One of those players, Khalim, all-rounder, that I feel has got a lot out of his abilities. Pretty talented guy. He starts the second innings.
Yeah, a lot of experience here from Dayan Khalim. Starts a new ball. Nathan Ru. He will look to take it deep. His power plays are so important in a run chase of this caliber. The new hard white kookaburra ball. A lot of value for runs if we get it in the area. But always look at the Titans here. They just look at an organized unit here. Very good fielders, good athletes. So they will have their work cut out in this run chase. Well played, Nathan Ru just got inside of it. Bit too straight by Dayan Khalim. The extra bounce. Managed to work it around the corner for a single. The two allotted fielders outside the circle, the third man and a deep square leg on the fence with fine leg in the circle. Tied in, very well played by Suzanne for an easy single in the mid-wicket area. Keegan Leon-Cachet from the Titans entrusted with the gloves here behind the stumps. A young wicketkeeper batsman. A great opportunity for him. You know, we had Heinrich Klaassen and Luandre Pretorius doing duty the last few years, and Rivaldo Moonsamy. Very well bowled at hard length. You can see that back of the length of the extra bounce from Khalim. Good action over the top, and that creates the extra bounce.
Well, there's obviously opportunity for the bowlers with the new ball, but I also feel the way the wicket's been...
1.5 stumps to aim at the angle he created there, and unfortunately Neil Brunt came into the stumps, wasn't able to pick the ball up, and a tough throw, hard throw, and a lucky boundary for Nathan Ru and the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side. Very good start by Duan Jansen. Nice run up, looks rhythmical, good action. Always get the extra bounce. The way he delivers the ball, nice and high over the top. And back end of last season, there were a lot of discussions about him and the radar. He lost his action. He was unable to bowl a good line and length. So his first two balls on the money. It's good to see him back playing and back to full fitness.
The first thing that I picked up is he's a little bit more aggressive in his run-up. A massive shout, it's going to be too high. That's that bounce you spoke about. But he's a little bit more aggressive in his run-up. He attacks the crease a little bit more. Sometimes you just need to get that golden path, so to say, to line everything up, get yourself time at the crease. But a good start, hitting the wicket pretty hard.
Yeah, and sometimes just a new voice, a new coach, a new idea that these players need to make the step up. And we know some wholesome changes here at the Titans. Rivash Gobind appointed as a new coach from the start of the season. We're interested to see how the culture will evolve around him and his structures. A very calm coach by nature, a very good guy to have in the change room with a lot of experience. And then Albin Morkel, the assistant coach. So some wholesome changes here. And obviously very good cricketing people within the Titan structures. So we'd like to see how they go this coming season.
Yeah, who better as a bowling coach than the guy with the Albies experience and worldwide cricket and success he's had. Big thinker about the game as well. Again, had extra bounce. Harry's Cezani manages to get one off the glove to square leg for a single. But yeah, you get to face guys with pace and bounce that often in the B division.
Well played again by Nathan Roo, organised nice and late under his eyes, through for a single. For a very good first over by Jansen, only going for 7 runs. I must say I'm impressed with his line, nice rhythmical, athletic approach towards the crease, strong action and a good start, and I'm 100% convinced that he'll enjoy bowling at Supersport Park. Tall bowlers always have good success rate at Supersport Park with the extra bounce. Sometimes when the surface are very good and nice and flat, especially in 4-day cricket, it's always been the guys that can create extra bounce who does the job here at Supersport Park. Halim is going to bowl his second over from the end of the river end. Well fielded by the young Steve Stork at backward point. Yeah, it's something the Titans pride themselves in over the years, to be one of the best fielding franchise sides in the world. And if you look at this corridor here with Steve Stork at backward point, Simonele Makanya at cover, Duan Jansen at a short catching extra cover, and then Rula van der Merwe. It's a well packed offside field.
This one is slogged across to mid wicket. There's no protection. Is heavily guarded offside. There's no mid wicket, just a deep square leg, and that one runs away to the boundary. Nothing wrong with the delivery, but Root decided it is time. That also brings out to a change in the field. The first slip goes exactly where that ball went, mid wicket.
Yeah, Titans realise there's no real swing on offer here. We saw it in the first innings also. It's a bit more conservative field here with mid wicket in place. Unfortunately, the end of Nathan Roo. Caught and bowl straight back to Dayan Khalim. Easy catch on his follow through. No real pace. He looked to work it onto the onside. And unfortunately, the first wicket goes down. 14 for 1. And Eastern Cape Iinyathi loses their first wicket.
Oh, we'll have to see if he took some pace off. Maybe just got stuck in the wicket a little bit. Yeah, maybe just looked to play a little bit square, a little bit early on the shot. Never easy, those cotton bowls. Comes back pretty quickly, but Khalim, he's normally got a good pair of hands. He's shown that again. First wicket down, 14 for 1 after 2.5 overs.
New batter at the crease for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side, Christian de Tooy. Tall right-handed batter, always bats at the top of the order, so good that Eastern Cape Iinyathi moved him up the order. He batted number 5 in the first couple of games in this Momentum Health Challenge, and since yesterday we moved him up the order to number 3, which is more his regular position. So this will be a good challenge for him. A Waterkloof old boy and a University of Pretoria student who got the opportunity on a 2-year deal to go and play cricket down in East London for Eastern Cape Iinyathi. Always be a bit of nerves here against your home team. See how he handles the pressure here.
Straight away beats the outside edge. It looks like it's a little bit of pace and maybe a away movement from Khalim. It might have also been the demise of Ru. Maybe a delivery that just straightened and sort of caught the outside half of the bat. You know, should be used to the high felt conditions. The toy, not exactly sure how many games he played on Supersport Park, but short, pulled away in front of square. It's going to speed off to the boundary, and it's a good start for the toy.
Yeah, lovely start. Pick up the length quickly from Khalim. Onto it, onto that back foot. Nice high hands and very good timing. Here you can see the length of Khalim makes himself dangerous here. The toy in position early, and a very good shot in front of square to get his bank account open. Lovely catch by Neil Brandt in the deep. Unfortunate at the end of Christian de Toy. A lovely catch, a very good athletic catch by Neil Brandt. And unfortunate, Christian de Toy needs to make his way back. A good shot, but to the long boundary. And the way Neil Brandt got himself into position to catch that, phenomenal.
This is a catch of the day for me, no doubt. Long way to move. The ball was travelling. Brandt was travelling, was almost behind himself. So a serious catch. And Khalim's successful again. 2 wickets in the over. End of that over 18. Now with 2 wickets down. You know, sometimes where you got to pick your poison, you know, that's straight into the breeze, straight to the long boundary. If you take that opportunity from the other side, that would have been 6 to heading towards the short boundary. So maybe some nerves, a little bit, just some experience, maybe.
Yeah, I learned a lot from this last 4 days. Definitely looked like he was looking to hit that ball a lot straighter. The angle that Khalim bowled into the legs, into that leg stump line to keep the balls away from the short boundary, made that ball go a lot squarer. And here's the new batter for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, Jason Niemand, the leading run scorer in the Momentum Health Challenge over the past 4 days. Just made his way to the crease. He's not on strike for this delivery, but Duan Janssen will start us off for the start of the 4th over. Good length again by Duan Janssen. Just a single around the corner by Sizani. Eastern Cape Iinyathi finds himself in a difficult position. Only started the 4th over now, already 2 down in the power play. And we know that golden rule, if you lose 3 wickets in the power play, it's very difficult in a run chase.
It's actually a high percentage, if you look at the history of all T20s been played, very high percentage games lost when you lose those 3 wickets which you've spoken about in the power play. They're still, you know, just halfway through the power play. The Titans shall be attacking. They've got a slip in place. Janssen looks like he's hit some rhythm, some extra bounce. That one's going to be a wide. Commentator's curse. But I don't think he'll be too phased by that. Looks like there's a little bit of movement into the right-hander. That normally tells you that the bowler's got his wrist in a good position. Now he just needs to line everything up. Second wide for Janssen, just losing his line a little bit. Man will be cross with himself. It's almost help yourself to a boundary if you can get contact on that delivery. It's pretty close to his legs, so maybe just checking his balance again. Another wide.
Yeah, that's been Duan Janssen's problem. Just losing his action a little bit too straight down the leg side. And if you look at his field placing, any sort of touch on that, it's easy boundaries, easy pickings. But it's so wide down the leg side that Jason Niemand can't get close to the ball. If you look at his running approach here from behind, it's very, very straight. He just needs to go one step to his right to create more of an angle. Same again, same line. Again, he makes himself guilty. But he needs to come one step wide over his run up here to create an angle towards the wicketkeeper's right hand, almost to that first slip angle that he needs to run in at. You can see his approach here straight away, just too close to the stumps. Everything in a straight line. That approach, you almost hit bowl to a left-handed batter.
Yeah.
As soon as you bowl to a right hand, it needs to come a bit wider.
I couldn't agree with you more. Just a slight angle on your run-up, which gives you a little slight angle when, on your gather, and that sort of lines everything up towards the keeper's right hand. Even those are leg side-ish. You want to start it on fourth stump, maybe fifth stump. But yeah, something to look at. I haven't seen Duan Janssen bowl a lot. Obviously, we've seen his brother bowl plenty and fantastic spells.
I must say, I think you'll agree with me, there's a lot of similarities within the bowling actions and the run-up and the release point, and obviously being left arm also. So there's no reason why he can't get back to his full ability. Petlukai out in the deep, doing the fielding, only a single. Shot of a man in good form, just walking across and flicking it to the leg side. Extra bounce again from Janssen, third man in, and a lovely catch by Junior Dala, and that's a dangerous wicket we spoke about, the third wicket going down in the power play. Not 100% sure where Susanna wanted to hit that ball, but the extra bounce of Duan Janssen makes the breakthrough, and a lovely catch by Junior Dala coming in from the third man boundary.
I think it's the extra bounce and a little bit of extra pace. I think it sort of rushed him. The catching today has been good. Junior Dala is known for his fielding. He's got a massive arm and he's got unbelievable hands. So he was never going to drop that. That's the third wicket in the power play, which you spoke about. That's the last ball of the over. So it's a good comeback from Janssen, finishing the over off strong. Yeah, they are losing wickets rapidly. They need to consolidate rebuild the partnership.
Our new batsman at the crease for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, Michael Copeland, the right-hander. He joined the Eastern Cape Iinyathi this season from Boland.
Well, there's been a lot of movement, especially at the second division teams. Players has moved around quite a lot. Not always easy to start at a new franchise, and I'm just thinking like Duan Jansen, also trying to find your feet. You've been used to playing for Northwest, you know your role, and then it's not always easy that first season at a new franchise. The sooner you can fit in, the sooner you can feel comfortable.
New bowler for the Multiply Titans, Junior Dala into the attack from the Henlops River end. Starts with a good delivery, good pace. Nice bit of extra bounce on that middle stump line. Yeah, it's cricket. In the modern day cricket with the two divisions is quite challenging. If you look at the personnel here for the Titans and you look at 6, 7, 8 players around the park here doing some pre-season work and some training. If you look at the squad numbers there, and then you know South Africa is still playing in England, and the A side has been on tour, so a couple of guys there also played. Not through the offside there. If you look at the quality cricketers that we have in our country and the limited opportunities, sometimes it becomes quite difficult just to get over the line, and that's the most important thing of a cricketer, a young cricketer especially, is to get them tested at the highest level and to get on the park to play.
Yeah, sometimes in sport, and not only just in cricket, in a lot of sport, you just need a gap. You just need that one chance and that one performance, which most of them are capable of a lot anyway. Just to get that break that a player needs, that sort of excels your career. Punched into the covers, only a single. That sometimes builds your confidence, because at this level most of the guys can play pretty good. But I always say, in preparation, when you get that opportunity, your preparation needs to be of such that you are ready when it comes your way, and you can sort of stamp your name into the bigger group of players.
You can just see the extra pace of Junior Dala. We've seen him play a lot of cricket for South Africa and for the Titans over the years. Bowling in the high mid 140s. A very good athlete. Out for all money if he hit. Never a single day. Niemand looking for the single towards mid wicket. Very good fielding by Keegan Peterson. We know how quick he is over the ground. And he just missed that leg stump. Any stump, he would have been far short of his ground.
Yeah, that's what pressure does. Not sure where to find the next run. They 3 down early in the play.
Lovely shot by Jason Niemand, the man in form over the last 4 days. He picks up the length from Junior Dala and a lovely pull shot in front of square for a maximum. Exactly what he needed to finish Junior Dala's over. And they move on to 37 for free after 5 overs.
Now, this is a massive hit. As I mentioned earlier, he's hitting into the breeze, into a pretty long boundary. Just maybe once too many of the same length from Dala. Maybe a little bit predictable. Niemand shows why he's the leading run scorer earlier in this week. Ex-Waterkloof player, am I right?
No, Niemand is not from us.
He's not from here. Okay.
He's not from Pretoria. He's not. He's from the Eastern Cape.
That's the first time I've seen him. That certainly raised the eyebrows and pretty impressive.
Yeah, here's the man in the attack, Lazard Williams, back from injury. Done a lot of work behind the scenes throughout the off-season to get himself back to full fitness. Worked on his action. Let's see how he can start this coming season. I must say, 4 good seamers here for the Titans on display. If you look at the squad depth they have, Lazard Williams, Dayan Khalim, Junior Dala, and the young exciting Duan Jansen. Yeah, so well bowled, just outside that off stump, too close to his body to play the cut shot. And unfortunately, the end of Michael Copeland. He needs to make his way back to the pavilion. And the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side loses their 4th wicket.
Now Williams, he's known for a wicket taker. Doesn't take him long. Just the extra bounce. It seemed like the Titans bowlers has got a little bit more out of the wicket than the Eastern Cape Nyati, especially with the new ball. Nyati was very good with the older ball, but 4 wickets down, so it's a massive mountain to climb now for this Eastern Cape side. But as we said, a lot to learn for them playing against a formidable Titans side. Malika is the new batsman striding to the crease. Surely didn't think he was going to bat in within the power play, batting at number 6, but that's such as this format. You have to keep going because you can't fall too far behind the right left-handed batter.
Yeah, it was important for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side, one of the top order batters, to get going, to create a partnership with Jason Niemand in this run chase. But unfortunately, some quality bowling and very good fielding by the Multiply Titans have put them in a difficult position. And straight away see the Titans feel they're ahead of the game. Slip fielder come back into play. Keegan Peterson makes his way to the slip cordon, and a very conventional field with 3rd man down, and then that fielder, the fine leg fielder, almost between fine leg and deep square leg. Interesting placement where they put him in the long boundary. And the ball hit straight down to him. He kept it down, the short ball, and he runs through for a single. That will be a wide, short delivery from Lazard Williams again. Too much bounce over Niemand's head. You could see Mr. Sadler, the square leg umpire, calling the wide delivery. Interesting field here with third man and fine leg in the circle and then deep square on the fence and a backward point on the fence at the long boundary.
Yeah, you'd think having Eastern Cape Iinyathi 4 down, he'll have attacking maybe a little bit more. A slip, field changes again. The deep backward point comes in and a deep mid wicket moves out. So protection on the leg side, the shorter boundary. Also goes there, just punch for a single. He will, no, he won't. There's still 1 ball to go.
Yeah, very good execution by Lazard Williams. Changes his field, put the deep mid wicket on the fence. And the ball goes out for a single. Good control. Now we spoke about Duan Jansen earlier, moving up to the Titans from Potchefstroom. And if you look at a few years ago when Lazard Williams moved across from the Western Cape to the Titans, how his career progressed in the right direction. Slower, short delivery by Lazard Williams, easily picked away by Malika for his first boundary. He just didn't bowl the ball there. Slow delivery into the wicket and very well played by Malika. End of the power play. They find themselves at 44 for 4, all the fours after 6 overs, and at the same time in the Titans innings they were at 78 for 2 after the power play.
Yeah, just too short. I think he tried to bowl the slower one. He's got his length wrong. Welcome boundary. Junior Dala also played a few games for the Proteas, and then sort of, not sure, I can't remember, got an injury and sort of fell away and maybe fell out of favour. Also a good servant for the Titans cricket over the years. He's one of those players that you know exactly what you're going to get from him with the ball in hand.
Very good fielding by the young Steve Stork. Had to hurry through for the single. Good backing up by Dayan Khalim. Good cricket all round. That's exactly where the Titans pride themselves in that 30-yard circle, to make sure that you are so aware, gets in good positions, try and cut off the angles, try and stop those quick singles. You can see a bit of a split field now, 5 fielders in the inner ring. The cover sweeper have moved out, third man, fine leg. The 4 guys outside of the circle. Beautiful shot by Malika, over pitch on this occasion by Junior Dala, and the left hand just leans on it and he times it through extra cover for a welcome boundary.
Just looks better sometimes when your left hander hits these cover drives, extra cover drives. It was pretty full. Shots of catch, there's no chance there. Gets the placement. That's the crucial part when you play on the high felt at Supersport Park. A lot of value for your shots. Yeah, looks a decent player. Malika. That brings up the 50 for the Eastern Cape Iinyathis, and their worry will be the number that's right behind it, 50 for 4.
No, they still need 121 and 81 deliveries at 8.5 to the over. So big task on the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side. Well steered down by Niemand for a single to third man. Change of pace from Junior Dala. And he managed to see it out of his hand and get into a good position to steer it down to third man. Well bowled. Right through him. Malika trying to hit over the top. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the Titans 11 that they picked today is only the one spinner, and Rudolf van der Merwe is warming up now to bowl the left-arm spinners.
You've got Brandt.
You're right, yeah. Sorry.
Brandt
Second one.
is way more than a part-timer. He's been pretty successful in the past. He's got a test 5-fer, 6-fer, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, in New Zealand, you're right.
Against New Zealand, so he's not a part-timer, so they'll use him as well in the Junior Dala over that conceded 7 runs. And as we speak about the spinners, Rudolf van der Merwe hands his cap to the umpire, and he will introduce himself into the attack.
Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, 2 very good left-arm spinners. Different also in their approach. One tall and one more of a skiddy bowler. Rudolf van der Merwe still doing duty for the Netherlands. I'm sure he'll be part of the World Cup qualifiers also in terms of their plans for the T20 World Cup in 2026 and then the 50 over World Cup in 2027. So a lot of cricket on the international white ball cricket in the next 2 years around the globe. And this is exactly what I like about Rudolf van der Merwe. He knows the short boundaries here, but he takes the responsibility to bowl with the leg side short boundary towards him. No field at the wicket, backward point, third man in the circle, cover sweeper, long off, long on, and cow corner and deep square on the fence. See niemand were aiming for that short boundary with a slog sweep. Van der Merwe taking off all the pace there in the first delivery.
He looks like a player that's pretty strong on his leg side. The 6 he hit earlier today in this innings was leg side. It looks like he's going to target that boundary. Rudolf van der Merwe will know that, and he's a wily old fox. You know, he'll have his own plans, and he won't mind if he gets hit once over mid wicket. He'll keep coming. Now to the left-hander. Sort of stood up straight and swept it. They're going to turn for a second to the long boundary. That's the one thing about long boundaries. There's always chance to double up, even almost if you hit it sometimes straight to the fielders.
Yeah, Rudolf won't be too disappointed with that delivery. You can see he stays round the wicket to the left-hander. Going to bowl that negative leg stump line to force him to hit towards the long boundary. Same again, the sweep shot, not enough timing there, straight to the 45. Short fine leg fielder Keegan Peterson. Yeah, unfortunate. Just stuck in the wicket. And the end of Malika. An easy catch by Leon Cachet with the big gloves. And Rudolf van der Merwe's breakthrough. His first wicket for the day. And Eastern Cape Iinyathi loses their 5th wicket. Malika looked good on the eye. He just sort of got used to the wicket. 12 of 9 deliveries, 1 boundary. But the short delivery gets into position and just off the glove. And easy pickings, easy catch for Leon Cachet to see the end of the left-handed Malika.
Always in the play is the Bulldog, Rudolf van der Merwe. Pity, Malika looked like he's a pretty decent player. I'd love to see a little bit more of him. Classic left-hand batter. Unfortunately for him, not so today. Harde Skutser joins niemand on the field. Is it him?
Yeah.
Looks like.
Yeah, Harde Skutser, a new batter.
Got the Richards on the back.
The coach and assistant coach shirts doing
their rounds.
Early season. A good captaincy here. Van der Merwe in charge here today. Slip in play. Keegan Peterson comes in. Nice and attacking, just to see if there's a bit of grip and a bit of turn here. Put some extra pressure on the batsman. Very good first shot down the ground. Nicely timed. Dwayne Jansen had to do a lot of work and unfortunately not able to stop the ball. He dove over it, and from a matter of disappointment you can see in his face. And a welcome boundary for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, and Hades Kutser get off the mark of a boundary.
That's a pretty good shot first up. It gets a little bit of width. What should have been 1 turns into 4.
Brings the end of the 8th over. Eastern Cape Nyati under the pressure here, 59 for 5 after 8 overs. Rate at the moment is 7.5 and the required rate is starting to run away at 9.3. And it brings another change, a double change. Introduction of the second spinner here, Neil Brunt from the Innings River end. Yeah, I must say the way Brunt batted, him and Stolk in the first innings were the 2 standout batsmen of the Titans. We spoke about him changing his game more to become accustomed to bat in the middle order, not just at the top of the order like we see him in red ball cricket. And as you rightly said, more than handy left arm spinner. Well bowled, quicker one into the block hole. Not much that Kutser could do with that delivery. I like this field, conventional field, extra cover on the circle, protecting that short boundary, leaving the mid-wicket area open, so they sort of encourages Kutser to play across the line into that vacant mid-wicket area.
There is the shot across the line. Shots have catch it, but not enough contact to get it to the boundary rider. Only the 1. You know, they are at a stage that they're almost needing 10 and over with only 5 wickets in hand. But there's no prizes for drawing a game like this. You got to keep going. The reverse sweep, just got enough of it. Williams runs around and does the work. That's an opportunity for you as a player, as in Hades Kutser and Niemand, to make a name for yourself. Impress a lot of people that's looking. Great bowling from Neil Brunt. It is the end of his over, only conceded 2 runs, so the spinners straight into action, making a difference.
No, the seamers has been very tidy in their opening spell, taking the first 4 wickets, which allows these 2 spinners to bowl in tandem here, and they can most likely take this bowling innings with the Titans up to the 15th over. And the nice thing about spinners also, they go quick through the over, so all the pressure will be on the batting side. Down the ground for 1, Niemand, not the timing he required, he just gave him too much room there. Sort of the ball outside of his striking zone, which makes it difficult to really get power on the shot. And it brings Hades Kutser back on strike. Punch down the ground by Kutser for a single. Dwayne Jansen do the tidying up work at long off. Lovely shot over extra cover by Jason Niemand. He didn't bother running, and that's a man in form. That's the leading run scorer of the Momentum Health Challenge the previous 4 days. Too much room outside the off stump, and a phenomenal shot over extra cover. A couple of bounces full.
Yeah, for me, this is a particularly good shot because he's looking towards the short boundary, and Rudolf knows it. Rudolf van der Merwe knows it. So he tries to target that wide line, but Niemand is up to the challenge and punches it over extra cover. Now comes the slog sweep towards the short boundary. This time it's going for maximum. It's sort of half a chip. It's down breeze. And for the first time, Van der Merwe is under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, highly impressive. Van der Merwe gets straight into that hitting zone and get into a good position early doors. Niemand. Lovely slog sweep for a maximum. Lovely shot again, uses the depth of the crease out towards the cover sweeper. Junior Dala do the tidying up. And good momentum change here from Niemand for his Eastern Cape Iinyathi side. Important for Adas Kutser now to join in the partnership here. He had a good start to his innings, and to make sure that he rotates strike if there's nothing on offer there, to keep Niemand in the loop here. That's so important. Any partnership in cricket, from a batting or from a bowling partnership. And these two batters for Eastern Cape Iinyathi will have to take a deep.
You don't really know exactly what the middle order looks like, but you feel like if they want to get close, this partnership is going to have to do most of the work around Niemand. He looks to be the class act in this batting lineup, but he needs partners.
And we've just gone past the halfway stage, and after 10 overs the Titans were 111 for 3, and the counterparts, the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, find himself at 74 for 5. So a little bit behind the 8 ball and 2 more wickets down. So important partnership, yes, for Eastern Cape Iinyathi if they want to stay in this contest. Well bowled and well played by Kutser, down the ground for a single towards long on. A very good athlete down at long on for the Titans. Steve Stork doing the duty. Clever bowling from Neil Brunt. I don't think he'll be too disappointed conceding a wide delivery at this occasion. He got the sense that Niemand is trying to look for a couple of boundaries, and he kept it way outside off stump, outside of his hitting zone. Yeah, that's a bit soft. Unfortunately, the end of Niemand. Very well bowled by Neil Brunt. He got into position to play the reverse sweep, and Brunt just followed him, crammed him for room, and he couldn't get any timing towards point for an easy catch.
He's a player that's got so many options, but cleverly bowled. That's a catch that Halim's never going to put down. He showed a lot of promise today for us, but I think he showed a lot during the week. He could be proud of his campaign he's had this week. Unfortunately, it's wicket number 6 that goes down, and it's the mainstay. Jason Niemand has to walk back.
New batsman for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi making his way out to the middle. Tandon Ntini, he was phenomenal with the ball in the first innings for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side, picking up 3 wickets. And he will have to play a vital hand with Adas Kutser with the bat We know he's more than just a bowler. He can bat a little bit. Left-handed batsman. You can see he's the first of the bowlers, so a bowling all-rounder, so to call. I'd like to see what he has up his locker.
He's played some decent knocks in the past. Maybe this is one step too far, but he can still come in and have a good contribution in this partnership. It's one has to say it's a long way away now with Nyati gone. To get over the line, try and make it as respectable as possible. See it as an opportunity to up your skills. One thing he's got on his father, his dad wasn't the best batsman in the world, but he's probably made the best single in the world way back in 2007 in a 4-3-8 game. I think a lot of you will remember that. End of the over, successful one from Neil Brunt. 7-8 for 6.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal story, and it was close to home for you. You were part of the action there in that game that sort of put South Africa on the map, and that run chase was phenomenal. You also scored a vital 30 odd there at the back end.
I was going to say at some stages too close to the action while bowling.
That's true, yeah.
A lot of people come to you and say, hey, I was that day and geez, you scored a few, but they keep on forgetting that we had to bowl as well. So we were under the sword for the first 3.5, 4 hours. But yeah, it was an incredible day, and I can't think it's almost 20 years ago. It's 18 years ago. It feels like the other day.
Yeah, it's amazing how certain games and certain stages of games stay with you forever, and that's one of the things that I'm sure you'll always remember out of your cricket career.
I remember the days when we beat the Titans here in finals way better than that. Maybe because they were so scarce.
Lazard Williams back into the attack, so Roel van der Merwe just bowled the 2 overs, and with the breakthrough at the end of Niemand, bringing the speedster back in Lazard Williams from the West Lane end. Always quicker than you think, Lazard Williams.
Yeah, he's a skilly customer. He can get it up to the 140s quite easily when fit.
Great fielding. Sibonelli Makanya at backward point. Yeah, that's small things like that just picks up the whole energy in the field. A very good shot by Tandon and Tini. Used the pace of Lazard Williams. Cut it just behind point, but look how well Makanya moves. Beautiful hand, and he saves a certain boundary. There's those small moments in games that lifts the whole team and the whole experience as a fielding unit.
Looks like Ntini likes to give himself a little bit of room against pace. Likes the offside.
Slower delivery into the wicket by Lazard Williams, and Kutcher just pushes it out towards the vacant point fielder for a single. Clever bowling. If you look at the field placing he had, the protection on the offside, and he made sure he bowls the ball hard into the wicket outside the off stump. Field change here. Fine leg in the circle, and mid-off stays up in the circle. The 2 fielders on the leg side, deep square, and mid wicket boundary on the fence with the extra cover sweeper. Straight back at the stumps at the non-striker's end. Kutcher safely in his ground. Well played by Nyati. Short, slow delivery into the wicket, and he just ramps it on. But equally good fielding on the third man fence to restrict it only to a single. Lovely shot through extra cover by Haris Kutser. Give himself some room. Junadala got some work to do. And they turn around for a second. Also the end of the 12th over. And the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side moves on to 83 for 6. Change of bowling again from the Ennis River end. Duan Jansen back into the attack. His first 2 overs cost him 16 runs and he picked up a wicket. Good start by Duan Jansen, hard into the wicket. Well stopped by Neil Brandt at mid wicket. And this is an important period also for the Titans bowlers not to look to go the Yorker length too early into that block hole and make sure that it's lower order batsmen with Nyati and Klaasen and Van Zyl to come and to hit those hard lengths to make it difficult for them. Outside edge from Nyati, well played. And a welcome boundary for Nyati. Stalked down at third man, couldn't make his round. But a very fine outside edge from Nyati. Past the wicket keeper. Not a bad delivery at all. Nyati backs away to the leg side and he just gets the outside half of the bat.
Nyati giving himself a little bit of room. It's that hard length from Jansen, which proves to be difficult to score on the wicket. There's a certain area that you need on certain wickets. When he gets his line right and his length right, that seems to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, we are into day 5 of this week's cricket, and I must say, highly impressed with how the wicket have held up over 5 days. Credit to the groundsman here, Brian Bloy at Supersport Park, doing a fantastic job here. You can see how this outfield is growing day by day, and in a month's time it will be a phenomenal field again. A lot of building work also going on here at Supersport Park. We've seen here in the main pavilion and just next to the president's suite, how they're changing and always evolving here, and that shows a lot of signs of a very successful union over the last few years. SuperSport Park, whenever you get there, there's something new happening and something new being built, and that shows of a union that's going in the right direction.
Yeah, there's always upgrades and there's always improvements. Not only that, there's new lights coming, there's new masts being put up, obviously at a cost, but that makes this venue one of the best, not only in South Africa, but one of the best. That's out. Is that going to be played on? Yeah, that's the end of good set. Just that bounce, that extra bounce that you get from, I was going to say Duan Jansen, but from the Jansen brothers. And just that extra bounce gets you in a bad position, gets you in an uncomfortable position. And you feel a little bit unlucky, but if you look at it, it is really well bowled.
New batsman at the crease that will join Tandun Tini, Chad Larson. The two openings bowlers together now to form a batting partnership, and the Titans will feel that they've done all the hard work now to get through this Eastern Cape Iinyathi side, and they will look to finish this game off as soon as they can. Very good bowling performance by the Titans, good discipline, good plans, and then they put the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side under pressure from the start. Once again, the square cut out to the deep, to the boundary rider. Tandun Tini definitely favours the offside. Look to give himself room. Lazard Williams into his third over, 2.1 overs, 1 for 13 this far. Very accurate, good pace that he's bowling with. And he will look to get a second wicket in this over. Slow delivery by Lazard Williams. Beats the keeper, but very well done. That short third man by Keegan Peterson. Almost get the feeling now that the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side is playing for survival. And unfortunately, the T20 game, that run rate is running away from them, 12.6. It's just a matter of time for the Titans to pick up these last 3 wickets. Full outside the off stump. Just hit to the sweeper by Chad Larson on the full. Less than a month away for these players to start the 2025-2026 first class season in South Africa. A lot of exciting fixtures and times ahead coming for us. We know all these teams are predominantly going to start with 4-day cricket, and then we got the domestic T20 competition, and then on the 26th of December it's the SA20, which they moved to earlier this year, which is quite interesting. And I think it's a good time with the school holidays going for people to get to the crowds and towards the SA20.
Yeah, it's a good time for the SA20. It's a bad time for South African cricket because we've gotten so used to Boxing Day test matches and New Year's test matches. None of those this year, which is, on that part of it, pretty sad. But I think SA20 has seen a massive gap, and that's going to up the existing viewership, which they had, and which is very successful. So there will be cricket, just not cricket in all whites for South Africa this year over Christmas.
And that's also the window. The SA20 is the window where South Africa makes sure that all the test players are available. So all the people basically gets priority in terms of the SA20.
Yeah, but it was sort of out of SA20's hands, and when there was no test allocated for South Africa by World Cricket, then that window sort of opened up, and they jumped onto the opportunity and booked those places. So that's going to be pretty good, pretty successful. I'm sure a lot of coastal and inland stadiums are going to be filled for that competition.
Bowling change here for the Titans. Andile Petlequire from the end of River End. He's going to bowl his first over in today's encounter. Starts with a slow ball. Tanantini sends him back. Direct hit. Mr. Sadler in a good position there. And he says not out. Slow delivery first up. Chad Larson looking for the single. Lovely fielding by the young Steve Stork. And just safely home. Big slug across the line by Tandanantini. No luck. Well bowled by Petlequire. Good start by him. And here you can sense a field change. Third man coming into the circle. Long off, Diane Khalim will move down to the boundary to give him the extra protection. Hard down the ground by Tandanantini. Good timing. And very good work, very good effort down in the deep by Sibinele Mukanya, but he couldn't do enough. And a welcome boundary for Tandanantini in the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side.
Always maybe feels a little bit more comfortable against this space. We've seen him giving himself room early on. This time he steps across, gets into the channel of Petlequire. He doesn't have the pace that most of the other bowlers have, and a well-struck shot down the ground.
Slow delivery by Petlequire, down the ground by Tandanantini, and just a single to his account. Two deliveries left in this 15th over. Few discussions here by the two openings bowlers of the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. A lot of time for the two opening bowlers to bat. They won't always find them in this position.
Yeah, especially in this format, you don't expect to be 7 down, but sometimes in this format that happens. When you chase a target against a good bowling attack, you got to keep going. Slow ball again. This one out of the back of the hand from Petluquaye. Yeah, got to use the opportunity. Show that what you've got. Thando Ntini is certainly doing that. He's been good with the ball earlier. Not exactly sure how his week went. Can't be too bad when they're in the final. Yesterday where they played, and he shows a bit of skill with the ball as well, with the bat in hand as well. Yeah, he's in the top 10 with bowling through the week. And obviously shows a little bit of ability with the bat. End of the over, 96 for 7, 15 gone. Yeah, the Titans, they were 136 for 6 after 15. Also had a sort of a collapse, but they had a great start, which sort of set up this total that they ended up with 170 for 9. Which I, at the end, probably will be a little bit disappointed with, but on the day it's good enough. The wicket sort of slows down as soon as the ball gets older, and they know they've got a decent bowling attack, more than decent, so they made their inroads pretty quickly. Kept on taking wickets, and it normally puts pressure on the batting side.
Yeah, we were quite critical of one of the Titans batters getting past 50, but it just shows you how important those innings of Steve Stork in the power play and Neil Brunt in the middle period was, the two standout batters of the Titans, to get them to a respectable total. Dayan Khalim back into the attack, starts with a slow ball down to third man for a single. Yeah, definitely looked like those two players were playing on a different surface today. Free flowing, hit a couple of good boundaries, high strike rates, both of them. And in the context of the game, definitely the difference between the two sides. Guilty, Dan Khalim, 2 straight. He'll have to bowl that one again. Wide delivery signalled by the standing umpire. All played round the corner by Chad Clausen for a single. All bowled into the wicket by Dayan Khalim. Not much Thando Ntini can do. Just push it out to the cover sweeper for a single. And that's also the 100 up. 7 down after 15.3 for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. They're falling behind in this run chase, unfortunately. But nonetheless, they move to 100 in the 16th over. A big decision by the umpire not to give the wide delivery.
But, yeah, maybe he thought there was a scratch through the pad, but I doubt it. It's pretty harsh on bowlers, but they know anything that goes down leg, even if it misses by half an inch. On the leg side, that's called wide. So Khalim a little bit lucky there. Looks like there's a little bit of tail into the right-hander for Khalim. Slower delivery and very well punched off the back foot. That's going to run away for 4 on this speedy outfield. Just too much width from Khalim.
Yeah, very good shot by Chad Larson. Slow ball into the wicket. He stood up high on his heels. He had a good timing for extra cover. And Roelof van der Merwe had to get his skates on. Unfortunately, he couldn't run it in. It's a good time for these Titans bowlers also to experience of 1 or 2 of their skills that they will use under pressure. You can see that's exactly what Dane Khalim is doing. Back to his normal stock delivery, hard length on off stump. And that's the end of the 16th over, 104 for 7. Andile Petlukwai will start with his second over, the 17th over of the second innings. Here's the summary thus far: 170 for 9 in the first innings, and the Eastern Cape Iinyathi find themselves at 104 for 7 after 16 overs. Very good bowling by Dane Khalim and Duan Jansen.
This one is slapped towards mid-wicket, and the desired result from Ntini. He found a liking to Petlukwai. They must have played together. They played together for a couple of franchises, I think. Petlukwai maybe at the Dolphins and especially at the Titans. Some old rivalry.
Hit hard down the ground again by Ntini, just a single. He moves on to 22 valuable runs in the context of this run chase. They won't get near, but it's a bit of pride that they play for here, just to make sure that the scorecard reads better at the back end. They still need 62 of 22 deliveries, and unfortunately they just don't have enough firepower to get near to this run chase. Definitely a couple of balls starting to stay low outside the off stump. 5 days on the same wicket. Can be challenging at times. Very well bowled. Very well bowled, Andile Petlukwai. Bit of effort into the delivery. The extra bounce right through to the keeper. Petlukwai trying the slow ball wide down the leg side. Mr. Yuri Sadler indicates the wide.
Last delivery of the 16th, the 17th, excuse me, 17th over. Klaasen. It's been a bit of a struggle for Klaasen. He was good with the ball today, especially his second spell. This one just punched straight to cover, end of an over for Andile Petlekwayo. That means 3 overs to go. Captain calls for the helmet, which means that goes on to the keeper, and reintroduction of spin, the captain himself for the day, Rudolf van der Merwe, again bowling towards a short boundary, although there is a left-hander in Thando Ntini, and then Klaasen. Tini, he's moved up to 22. .61 needed, 18 balls left. Yeah, that's a bridge too far for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. They've showed a lot of promise today, especially with the second half with the ball. We've seen some talent with the bat. In Niemand looked good, and Thando Ntini shows what he can do. Quick single, great work by Rudolf van der Merwe. His tender age of, I think, close to 40, 41. He's still a youngster, very fit, very strong, very determined cricketer. One of those guys that you always want in your side. One of those guys you'll take to war with you. He's such a great servant of the game, not only for the Titans. Good to see him back in the Sky Blues, but everywhere he goes. Wide, slashed, and that's going to be 4. Just, I think, feels like he needs to protect the short boundary, and then offers too much width, and an equally good shot from Klaasen.
A lot of room outside the off stump. You could see I had to reach for it, and if you look at that line, potentially a change in the field needs to happen with extra cover going more round, and that Steve Stalk in a circle, maybe going more towards backward point to give him the option. That's a much better line by Rudolf van der Merwe. Yeah, same again, we spoke about it earlier about the short boundary and long boundary where they sometimes overcomplicate things. That ball just too wide outside the off stump. Beat them all ends up. A chase there. Very well fielded. But a turn there from Van der Merwe. Beat the batter and the wicket keeper. You'll be disappointed, but you could see there was a sharp turn.
Yeah, he'll certainly be disappointed. Keeper at this level should at least get a hand on it, should take that easy stumping opportunity. This is full and straight. It's going to be maybe down leg. Big shot. End of the over. Opportunities were there, not taken.
Discussion there between the umpire and the two batsmen. Here's the summary of what we've seen in front of us this morning in this Eastern Cape Iinyathi fixture against the Multiply Titans. Momentum Multiply Titans batted first, 170 for 9, Neil Brunt 42, Steve Stalk 36, and Sibunala Makanya handy 23. But look at these bowling figures. Dan Khalim, Duan Jansen and Neil Brunt at the peak of them. And a very convincing outing here by the Titans in their pre-season encounter against the Eastern Cape Iinyathi. Two overs to go. Junior Dala comes back into attack. Right arm round the wicket to the left-handed Ntini. Oh, he starts with a full toss. Square leg umpire straight away signals a no ball, and that will also be a free hit. And most likely a first warning.
Yeah, just lost control. Sometimes you wonder how you get it wrong like this. He's missed his length by 15 meters, probably. Because that bounced right at the feet of the keeper. Surely not. Surely not. Yeah, a lot of inconsistency. It's not dangerous, but by the new laws, it doesn't matter anymore. If I'm right, you should have had a warning. You should have been off by now. The second one, maybe a little bit of leniency. Yeah, you don't know how you do this. I've not seen two of these in a row. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Again, surely, again.
Yeah, that's something that he won't want to remember. Junior Dala, 3 full tosses in a row, and it stays a free hit. And this time round, Tandon Ntini managed to get some bat on it and hit it over the vacant third man for a boundary. Very, very full, bad control, completely lost control over the delivery. But you're right in saying to get it right 3 times, you'll struggle to do it again, and still a free hit.
I don't think some bowlers can do that if they try and miss their length by 15 meters. And very predictable. He's going to bowl a slow ball into the wicket to prevent him from bowling another full toss, and that gets a treatment as well. Yeah, I have to say this is pretty poor from Junior Dala. And he might get a wicket. No. Falls in no man's land. I was going to say he might get an undeserved wicket there. A slog from Tandon Ntini. But it falls right in the middle of 3 fielders. The wicket keeper couldn't get there himself. Yeah, that's what you do. You fall back on slow balls if you can't hit the wicket.
A good 40-meter sprint by Leon Cochet, just couldn't get there. The point fielder, where it should have been easy to take the catch, has moved out to the boundary. Lovely strike again. Not the timing he required to hit it nice and straight. Out to the deep for a single. Very well played by Chad Larson. Poor delivery. A difficult over here for Junior Dala. Trying too much. And once again too full. And this time round on the leg side of Chad Larson, it just helps it over that fine leg fielder in the circle. Here we can see just losing his action now, unfortunately. Way too full, trying to bowl the Yorker. And a very good shot by Chad Larson.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier he's lost favour for high honours. He played a couple of games, Junior Dala, and that's probably why he's never had the consistency of an international bowler. This is just They were great bowling at this stage, and he falls back onto the slow ball again. As you say, he's probably lost his action completely. For a pretty experienced guy, you'd think he'll sort it out pretty quickly. Not so. Yeah, it's been an over that was all over. 3 no balls above waist high. In normal conditions, you'll be taken out of the attack by the umpires. And he's now decided to err on the shorter side. End of the over, prolonged over, very expensive over. The dollar going on over 11 runs and over. At this stage, 1 over to go.
Yeah, there's the man in picture. He will be very thankful that it's still pre-season. Got a couple of things to work on before the season gets officially going. But that's why these games get played. They play tomorrow again against the young guns of the Titans, where he'll try and rectify a couple of things. Yeah, we can just look at him just losing his action, and it's way too full. As you rightly mentioned, some of those balls he missed the mark by about 15 meter, which gives you indication of how full those deliveries were. And here back to the live action, the last over of this encounter. Duan Jansen, the new import from Northwest, will finish proceedings for the Titans from the West Lane end.
Nee, bal jy. Bal nie sulke balle. Ek het dit 20 jaar kyk. Average, ja. Yes. Firm strike by Tandon and Tini, straight to Rula van der Merwe at mid-off, and another single to take him to 37. He had a wonderful day for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi, with the lead in the attack with 3 wickets, and now find himself at 37 not out. 50 partnership also for these 2 batsmen, Tandon and Tini and Chad Larson. They use the time in the middle here to good. A nice weekend full of South African sport. South Africa against the All Blacks tomorrow at Eden Park. It will be a big one. And then on Sunday, the 3rd one-day international, South Africa against England. I must say, Proteas are doing great jobs. They beat Australia in Australia, and now England in England in 2 one-day series. This 50 over cricket, which is a phenomenal effort by the Proteas. Getting a bit scrappy at the back end for the Titans. I don't think they'll be too worried, but there's something that they pride themselves on in being clinical, so they will certainly address this. Let's say last 3-4 overs, which has been very scrappy. Not what we expect from them. 2 deliveries to come.
Yeah, it takes a tally to 142 for 7 with 1 ball to go. Nyati at 37 and Klaasen at 16. Jansen picked up 2 wickets so far. 1 more ball for him. He won't mind the 3rd wicket. Yeah, that brings the end. Well played by Tandon Ntini. He moves up to 37, finishes the last ball with a leg by, and 143 for 7 in their allotted 20 overs. The Titans, the champions of this game, they won by 29 runs. And unfortunately, Eastern Cape Iinyathi top order batters didn't fire today as they did in the previous 4 days. But a very worthwhile exercise for the Titans as part of their pre-season. And the Eastern Cape Iinyathi get rewarded by playing against the Titans after a very good 4 days of T20 cricket for them.
Yeah, that's Niman that came in at number 4, the leading run scorer of the week. He looked pretty good, but it was a big mountain to climb. Other than that, Tandon Ntini showed that what he can do. It was just a bridge too far for the Eastern Cape Iinyathi side, but a lot of experience gained. One could maybe say Titans might be a little bit rusty. The bowlers, Kaliman Duan Jansen was successful. Rudolf van der Merwe got under the pump a little bit. You don't see that often. Junior Dala was disappointing. And Neil Brunt, he's 1 wicket for only 6 runs in the 2 overs. 143 for 7 after 20 overs.
Yeah, and there's the summary of the 2 cards. 170 for 9 plays, 143 for 7. And the Titans are winners here by 27 runs at Supersport Park. From us here at Supersport Park, from myself and Johan van der Walt, thank you very much. And please come down to Supersport Park and come and look at all the renovations here. Phenomenal place to watch cricket. And we're looking forward to a thrilling season of first-class cricket in South Africa.